Welcome back to Imagination Station Network. My name is James, and I have one of the OGs for the first season, Mike, who's came on again, man, to tell us all what he's up to. But how are you doing today?
I'm very, very good actually today, James. I'd had a wee bit of a flat spell for a while, but I've had some right good news over a couple of weeks. And that launched me into the Robert Burns weekend, and that gave me a real boost.
Good.
And then I was at the Burns Light last night, and I was asked to sing, and they've asked me to sing again next year. So
Good,
I
man.
must have done something.
You must be doing
right.
something right. It's when you get asked back, man. I must be doing something right. I'm not getting asked back. But no, good to see you, man. And I always like slowing it down a wee bit. This is episode 5, I think, in the 2026. So
Aye, because I think I was 3 of your sort of experimental 5, wasn't I?
We just shot right through. We continued it and done 35 last year. So it's been some journey. Tell us what you've been up to, man.
Well, to be honest, I feel a bit of a fraud because you're always on about creatives.
I know, but you said that last time. You only get away with that once. That's it. You only get away with that once. You're no fraud. What have you been up to?
Well, very little. I've been very uncreative.
Right.
The laddie, my youngest laddie, had been living with us, and I'm not blaming him in any way, shape, or form. It was wonderful to be able to look after him, but he had some visa issues with going abroad. But he's over now, and we've got the house back to ourselves, and slowly start getting back to a more normal situation. Children flown the nest, etc., etc. But I was wondering today whether I could sort of say to other people, just failings and stupidities, because as you know,
hey, but failing's part of success. Failing is part of success. We might not like it, but it's part of success. That's why people are successful. But I guess when we ask you back onto these things, is like, you're creative. You obviously help out with Jan at Bark and stuff, and we've got where we not so much a secret project now there. So the project is taking shape and it's unfolding. But you're one of these guys who every time I stop you in the street, you're doing something. So for you to come on and say you're not doing anything, I'm like, he's lying to you. Andy was late today. Everybody knows how my head is with late, but we sorted it out. We can't even blame wee Jan.
Well, the thing is, the reason I've brought these couple of oddities, one, you complained I didn't bring the horse. And, I almost felt for a while, I don't know whether other creatives can link with us. I mean, that was a kit. If people look, you buy these plywood kits.
Right.
But it took me a couple of years to get round to realising, because I've heard sculptors say they look at a block of marble and they say, there's a beautiful woman in there. All I've got to do is get rid of the rubbish and leave. So at the end of the day, using a kit, it reduced the amount that I had to get rid of by 90%. But that was just the chunks, the actual shaping of the thing. And
so these are separate bits of wood that are tied together?
A whole load of presumably cut by computer. You glue them all together and then you start shaping and actually carving. So instead of starting off with a block, you're starting off with a really weird shape.
That's good, man. It's got a wee saddle out. Is that real horsehair?
It is.
Wow, man. I've got paintbrushes made of horsehair.
But you see, by total contrast, I was walking along the beach no far away from where you live a few years ago, and I saw this lump of wood.
Nice, man.
And I just picked it up, took it home, dried it, and it sat there for
Is that the lump of wood I had an idea when I said you need to... The thing I came up with was to put it into a tank full of something that would decay it and watch it over time decaying.
don't think that was the same piece of wood.
Nah.
But I'd got this around, and a couple of Christmases ago, my daughter gave me this absolutely brilliant little oil
Tony
by
Wilkinson.
Tony Wilkinson.
Great artist.
And that's, point it at you, I need to point it at the camera, Donna. See what an amateur I am. This is Holy Island,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
the upturned boats that turned into sheds and the castle in the background. And when I saw it, I thought, I want to frame that in some way with driftwood, because there's always driftwood in front of these sheds.
There is, I've not been there.
And it took
For a
me
while.
absolutely ages to think, hang on. So I had a look, and I found that this knob on the back would actually allow this to stand up
That's
at
brilliant.
a reasonable
Because I was
angle.
going to say, man, aye.
So
That's
all
good.
I had to do...
So is that for spittle? That wood?
That's aye. So all I had to do was, which was a wee bit difficult because this stopped me getting power tools in. All I had to do was cut this groove, carefully allowing to put a wee tiny planting space at the top. And when I got it done, I was right chuffed. So I actually sent... I found Tony Wilkinson on social media.
Yeah, good berry artist. I've got a couple of his pieces. So this is for the same beach, and I got this made. Believe it or no, 4 doors along for you, because that's where Sean for Out of the Woods. Check him out on Facebook. Stays. He's your neighbour, and he stays along the road for you. And I've always wanted my own shillelagh. That's what got me into martial arts, and he made me it. So that's for Spittle Beach as well. Same as that. It's my chib.
Fan dabby dozy. It's absolutely beautiful.
It's like wee Snoopy in it. I bring it. It's just I've always wanted my own one that's been created for driftwood, so we're not much different, man.
So then again, going back to Spittle Beach, just close to where you live, there's Berwick Dock.
Yeah.
And it used to have a timber, didn't it, pier out so that
That's
the
right.
boats could steer themselves in on when the tide's in or out or there's water running. And of course, they knocked it down and replaced it with concrete just a few years ago. And most of the timber, which was about 180 years old, I think, went in skips,
Wow.
having come originally from South America. Well, my laddie was out walking the dog on Spittle Beach, and he said, "Oh, do you want to come and get some railway sleepers for that?" So I drove down there, and I says, "There are no railway sleepers." I says, "I'll tell you exactly what they are. They're off that pier. They've dropped them, and they've come down onto Spittle Point." So I took them home, and I've been drying them out. And the idea is actually to make a full-size rocking horse.
Aye.
But I spotted the offcuts, and there's a boy in Spittle used to make pens, night pens. So I took an offcut along and asked him if he could make a pen for me. I'd bought pens. I bought a fountain pen to sign my books with off him. So he made me 2. And I gave one to Chris Hardy, who's actually... So then...
Oh, Chris, the guy who used to print my first books.
Yeah. So, and this is just a wee present for you.
Ah, I like presents.
Well, we have a thing at Christmas as a family thing. Rather than everybody buying everybody presents, there's a computer on the internet that generates and tells you who you need to buy for. Well, I got my daughter who lives in Sweden, and she was over. So it was, what can I get her for a present that's not going to weigh out, it's going to go easily in a suitcase, etc., etc. And I spotted an offcut about 20 years ago. I dragged a lump of tree off of Spittle Beach.
Wow.
And dried it and turned it into my mantelpiece.
We need to send us a picture of that.
So, well, I thought she's in Sweden. She's never coming. Well, she comes for holidays. But so I found a guy, because unfortunately the Spittle guys had to pack in making them. So I had 4 made, and I gave her 2, one for the house and one for work. And so there's a present to
Thanks
you.
very much, man.
That's from my hearth.
I
May
don't know
you
what
always have the warmth
I don't know what you say, man. These are.
from my
If you
fireplace.
see when I was weighing it, when I like being autistic, I'm always looking for something, a pen that weighs. Does that make sense?
Aye.
So that's why I was moving. It's the same with spoons and it's the same with forks. I'm always like moving it.
Well, I hope that one's
Thanks
right,
very
because you're
much,
not
man.
getting this, you.
Thanks very much. That'll live with me. It's funny because I'm just about to do a book signing in Ayrshire. We've got a couple of wee dates coming up. And fun fact is that my friend's house that I live in has a part of that timber for the floor. Was it yourself that told me, or was it Ian?
Yes.
Aye, so that
Yeah.
same timber, and that inspired I can't say too much. It inspired a ship in one of my books, and it's like, and I said, mind I says to you, I says, well, I think it's half a wee bit because when I'm walking down the stairs, it's like I can feel myself going.
And there's another wee present for you, purely because it's orange.
Right.
And that's the firm that my youngest laddie starts working for in Sweden tomorrow.
Right, what's
Can
that?
you see what it is? If you pull the lug
Right.
all the way,
Is it
it's a cup.
it's a cup for you
If
put it in
you-
the top of your cup, keep it warm?
Well, no, but keep them warm. Just pour the stuff out of the flask, and it's just easy for carrying and packing. So because it's orange,
Hey,
I
thanks.
seen it. I thought,
This will go in my wee bag, my thingy bag there that I've got for painting. Look at that, man. You wouldn't think that things like that would just... People take things like that for granted, but again, another like creatives. Some of the creatives came up with that
yes,
because they can't be bothered taking stuff in the bag that weighs, or if you're like me and you forget to clean it, then it's easier to keep clean. Thanks very much. Jan will be raging because she's like always saying I got all the gifts.
well, I'm sorry.
Hey, but so what's the plan with this? Are you going to make a bigger version?
Well, I'm trying. I've actually kind of got the big pieces roughed out from these like railway sleepers, and one of them had got a massive bolt hole through, and I've managed to actually shape the head so that the bolt hole kind of lines up with the where the bit bridle goes through. So
how many hours did it like in that? I know it comes in the pattern and you have to chisel it out and stuff.
do you know, I honestly, I couldn't even tell you whether it was 40, 80 or 100, because you just do it, don't you?
I know the feeling, man, when you're was it for anybody or was it just for someone to build?
No, it had been bought for my father-in-law when he lost my mother-in-law.
Right.
And the idea was, because he'd been in the building trade, and the idea was maybe give him something to do. But after he died, when we were clearing the place out, it was there still in the box.
Brilliant.
And I thought, well, I might as well have a bash at doing it. I'd never ever carved in my life before.
But that's the thing, man. When, like for me, when I start stuff like that, it's like everything you've done has led up to do that. Does that make sense?
Well,
do you know everything you've done, everything you've ever done in your life has led up to creating that?
Honestly, James, nothing that happens in my life ever makes sense to me. It's totally random.
Don't bother. I'm the same when I get up in the morning, but I always think that the journeys are a wee bit further along, whether it be age, whether it be skill level, that things start to appear, and then you're like the pens and like the other stuff, and you're like, they exist because you gave yourself permission to do these things.
Well, do you know, I was kind of worried about bringing that along because I thought, well, I didn't make it. But then I tried to sort of give myself a wee bit of, and I thought, well, the guy who designed the Eiffel Tower, the guys who design buildings don't actually lay the bricks.
Exactly.
They have the idea, they see the concept, they see the bit of whatever it is, and then they get people to actually create their vision. And it's that creative.
We get stuck in that word creatives, man. Creatives are anything. That's what the whole idea of the podcast is. That's why we invited you back on. It's like, up until last year, until I really started to put the graft into what I'm doing, I never really gave myself any title. I was quite embarrassed about telling people I'm an artist because, as we spoke, people are quite cruel and they're quite horrible about it if you've not been to university and your name isn't Fenella or whatever.
Oh, yes.
And I'm not that guy. I come from a council scheme. I know where I come from. But now I know where I'm going, thanks to you guys that came on the show. And it's quite selfish of me for that. But when I see that's who I am and that's what I'm doing and why I'm doing it through other people, that's something you need to embrace. So it's like, I do call myself an artist. I do call myself an author. I do call myself an arsehole sometimes. We can't help but be our worst critic. But I think when you're on that journey, and you're right, no, everybody's a creative. I get that. Everybody has their own wee bit. But a lot of people are too busy trying to take things away from people instead of contributing.
Well,
remember, was it nearly a year since we filmed the first one?
It must be.
But we're anniversary.
Anniversary
gift.
It was sunny and warm, so it can't be a year.
Aye. I can't. Do you know what?
I don't know how long it is.
Must have been April, May time.
Aye. Well, it was sunny and warm.
I'm going to go back and check it when I launch that podcast.
But I mean, is there any need to get involved in definitions? I mean, when I stab a haggis for the Burns night, I tend to involve. I do it as a bit of a performance.
Yeah.
And I involve a couple of members of the audience.
He's a rendition. Come on, wee courage, timorous beastie.
Well, no, I don't know that one.
No.
I don't know that one. Fair for your honest sonsy face, great chieftain of the puddin' race, abune them all you tak your place, bench, tripe or therm. Weel are you worthy o' a grace, as lang as my arm. But you see, what I've done is I've tended to hand out my poetry books to the people and just sign them and say,
And he sends you a picture to where yours is. I've got a proper wee stand for mine. And when I light a wee candle, I need to start doing another wee couple of videos. And it's in my house. It's a wee silver book holder, and I open it up at a page when I'm lighting my candle. That's about as close to God as I'll get. I was reading out something for a book.
I don't know about that, but I mean, 2 weeks ago we got the really good news about my laddie being able to get away.
Brilliant.
And on the Friday night, I had a haggis to address, and when I come off, I says to Piper, I says, "By crikey, I nailed that tonight," and I felt right good. And there were 2 or 3 people in who had the book in previous years, and they were saying, "Oh, I've got your book on my bedside table and I dip into it now and again." Another one said, "Oh, I've got it in the bathroom and I dip into it when I'm in the bath sometimes." And then there was a young lassie there, 19, with her mum and dad, and Victoria, and she'd never been to a Burns night before, so I gave her one of the books, and they were flicking through it while they were eating their dinner.
Do you eat haggis?
And
do you eat the haggis?
Oh, I love it. I had a big plate of haggis last night.
Brilliant. I might even have that for my dinner tonight.
So anyway, they'd been flicking through, and she'd already started picking out favourites. And she was laughing at Ode to an Election Result, which is, oh, no. Which right around the world sums up about half of the electorate at every... And I start thinking, well, is that creative? Actually, when people read something that you've written...
But we've spoke about that before, there's nothing... Nobody's ever really prepared, unless that's the career that you want to go down and you're building yourself up, but nobody's really prepared when you don't class ourselves as creatives to see somebody's face. Like my new book, when somebody reads it or they come back to me and they write all these nice stuff, I'm like, I wasn't ready for that. It's an emotional, it packs an emotional punch, man.
Well, I say in the book that, to me, art, and I'm going over, art is about the transfer of emotion from the artist to the recipient. And when you said to me on the first tune that when I dropped the book through, you was on a low, and you read it, and
that's what I'm saying, and I still do.
That's what it's all about.
But I'm still feeling flat, and I'm lighting. That's what I mean. I'm lighting my candle, and there's just a thing about when words are so. There's a story about the guy who, when we still talk to each other, said to me, "What makes you think your art's relevant in this world?" And he came to a place, and I said, "Well, let me tell you this," and I nearly said his name there. I say, what about why are we still scrambling about inside caves, looking at hieroglyphs and all these other things? So, my art's relevant, probably more relevant now because of the journey I'm on, which I'm not quite ready to reveal yet. But, and he just put his ring down and he left. We're still pals, but and he says that packed a powerful punch. Because you're right. He says I had nothing to come back on that. And he says he's really got, and he's not an emotional man. So he's really got me emotional with that, and I confide in him now with stuff about. But to the other people, I would say, "Oh, rude." No, it comes to a place of asking, what your art is. Why do you think it's relevant? And I didn't need to give an answer and blow smoke up my own arse and go, "I'm brilliant at this," because that's not who I am.
No.
So instead, I gave him the answer that I will always give, man. Because there is a relevance more now than any time in the world is what it's like. Again, back to you, back to why you're on the show, why you're sharing, why you came on with the horse, and why you were late. I'm terrible with stuff like that, man.
Normally I am the earliest person for everything. I mean, last night it was first person there, and that's not me.
We'll let you away. You were excited to come on the show.
But no, but what I would like to say to anybody out there creative, particularly younger people, is don't forget, at the end of the day, you've got to eat.
Yeah.
And that's been a huge part of my problem. I've never, ever really valued anything that I've done. And, as such, I've never concentrated on one thing. I don't know. I'm probably not good enough to do any one thing.
I don't say like that because I don't concentrate on any one thing. And this probably annoys people because it annoys me. Like you look in this room, Mike, and you'll see there's loads of stuff. There's 2 mics, even though we're wearing mics. There's 3 mics, 4 or 5 mics. But that's because that's who I am. I've embraced that, and that's why it's right that we come on and share that. I can't focus on one thing either. And that's a good thing because it means you've got more than one talent to be able to go, all right, I'll get back to that, or I'll do that, or I'll do that, and I'll do this. And it's like, that's a skill in itself.
But you see, we've sat here and we've talked about wood and driftwood and driftwood and driftwood. But I brought my laptop along just in case. But I mean, I've got songs on there that are written.
Right.
And that, well, obviously, we're not going to have time to play, but I mean, it's just stupid stuff. Years ago, I was in a pantomime with a lassie, and at that time, she was, I don't know, probably 20. She'd maybe, early 20s, and she had a wee toddler running about, and I'm looking at her, and she's just such a fabulous mother.
Right.
And how she was juggling all these balls and keeping all these plates spinning, volunteering her time into a pantomime and looking after the band and doing all this other stuff. And I said to her one day, we'd just finished rehearsals, and I said, I'm going to write you a song.
Right.
And I did. And it's really beautiful.
So,
and I'll give you a link that you can put underneath this. Because it's got linked to a Bark thing, well, it's actually on the Bark YouTube.
Right.
Because Jan was sitting doing a thing a few years ago, a follow-up on Tiggy.
Oh, aye.
And she was sitting there, and I said, I don't think you'll be able to do that, darling, because I think you'll get nailed for copyright with that music. I says, why don't you use my tune?
Yeah.
And then there's going to be no problems. And she's just so clever, my wife.
Big up, Jan.
There's a line in the song, I'll Walk You By Cool Streams, and there was photographs of Tiggy on holiday with the family
Brilliant.
in a cool stream up, and she just jiggled all the photos around and kind of fitted them into the lyric, and it just, but you know, it would have been nice if it had paid for a
Transitioned
bottle of
into
milk, but
that's the thing, man. Like we said this the other day, like we don't ask for anything for people. Like we come to back because you and Jan are good people, and Katie and all the other guys. You know, the fact is that, and we put a wee thing out and we say, you know, we're going to do this. We'll cover everything, but if you get a donation, and you think nobody's, well, I tell I two people, me and somebody else has went on and put the donation in, but it's like that just shows you. And if I was to eat that up and go, you know what? What's the point? Because when everybody's always coming out and asking us if they can get a donation, and we always give as much as what we can, but when we're coming around to asking somebody for £1, do you see what I mean there? But I'm no bitter because that's a reflection on you guys who have to gave me any £1 or £10 for the donation for Bark. No a reflection on me. Do you see what I mean? No, that's the whole point of these things. So we're nearly there at the end, though. I think I'm going to pause it and maybe get you to get your laptop out and do this wee song. If you can fire it up, man.
oh,
So we'll give a wee pause and then we'll come back like that.
aye. So here we are, the song that I wrote for Bonnie. Well, actually for a daughter, really. Complete amateurville. Let's see if we can pick up on this microphone
Hi,
from.
Robbie.
I've written you a song, it's here where you belong. My love and joy compiled, my own darling little child. I've written you a poem, and if ever you're alone, just read these words aloud and know that I'm proud. For 3/4 of a year, I nurtured you, my dear, my darling little pearl with your bonny little curl. You are my purpose on this land, however big you grow to stand. I'm the one you can believe, you're the reason that I breathe. I've painted you a scene to show you where your mother's been, bright places in my mind and the things I've left behind. I'm drawing you a world so your wings can be unfurled. When you grow and fly away, I'll be with you all the way. For 3/4 of a year, I nurtured you, my dear, my darling little pearl with your bonny little curl. You are my purpose on this land, however big you grow to stand. I'm the one you can believe, you're the reason that I breathe. I'll walk you by cool streams and help you through your dreams, in meadows where the skies are filled with butterflies. I'll calm your doubts and fears and wipe away your tears. I'll take away your pain, and that will be my gain. For the remainder of my days, you will always have my praise. It is your life to live, your freedom I will give. There will always be a place for you, though I'll be living my life too. I'm the one you can believe, you're the reason For the rest of my days, I'll always be amazed as your shining light grows to be so bright. However long I live, you'll have all I can give. I'm the one you can believe. You're the reason that I
Makes you want to greet, man. You make me greet on my own show. Deep as the ocean, man.
I wish I could say that I was playing the guitar on that, but massive up to Frank Needley.
Big up, Frank.
Self-taught guitarist, absolutely wonderful guy. But and the wonderful thing is that young lady, Bonnie, is now well into her teens. She's already acting in Duns. She's already done
Is that a wee girl
show.
singing that?
No, that's her mum.
That's her mum.
That's Marie,
Right.
that everybody from Duns will know, and Berwick a lot. No, it still sort of tugs at me all
There you
these
go.
years
See, the fact
after.
is that it's like creatives join journeys. That's the whole point, man. That's just tailed off the entire show. It's like, doesn't matter what you're creative or if you're just giving knowledge to people. Written a song, somebody sings it, plays the guitar, and then come back on a show and compliments them. That's the reason you're here, man. We don't need to say any more because we're out of time. But thank you very much for coming and giving us your time, Mike, man. And we'll probably have you back on again and see what you're else.
Oh, you're a sucker for punishment.
Can we plug Bark first? I'll let you plug it, man. If anybody's watching.
Yes, my wife and I's passion for the last 25 years has been Berwick Animal Rescue Kennels, Bark. Well, we're just in the process of coming to the end of a massive extension, which I think is going to really improve the whole operation of the charity. It's coming up for a grand opening fairly soon, and I'd love for any of you to look at the website, follow them on social media, come along to the grand opening, and please get behind it. And we'll be looking for more volunteers. And yes, please, Berwick Animal Rescue Kennels, we're massively needed between Edinburgh and Newcastle.
Yeah.
And
I'll not be as polite. Give your money. There's a donation link in my Instagram as well. Give your dough. These things don't pay for yourself. And, sometimes animals are far better to be company than humans. And I did say that, and I don't care. It's my show. I'll do what I want. Aye, so if you go and figure, see what they're up to, and Picasso might get another wee brother or sister. Jan's always looking at it, says it has to be the right wee furry sister for her. So that's it. We're out of time now. But listen, thank you very much for listening, and thank you very much for your time, Mike, and bringing everything along. Don't forget, guys, if you just found us, to subscribe and hit all the buttons, man. Show us a bit of love. Show Mike a bit of love in the comments, man. But big love, and just remember, please be kind to yourself. As you heard the Mike story, started to go down a wee route that often doesn't matter if you're creative or if you're a human or whatever. We can often drift away and fill your body and your mind with remorse about how you got here and what you're doing. But listen to this. Bruce Lee once said that please be careful with the words that you say to your body, because your body doesn't know any difference for right or wrong. And we'll leave it there. See you in the next episode. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you or someone you know has a creative journey they'd like to share on the show, then please reach out to the team. Thank you.